Let's be real for a minute. Gaming has become an incredibly expensive hobby. It feels like every other week there's a new title demanding $70, $80, or even $100 of your hard-earned cash. And what do you get for that price? Too often you get a game that is unfinished, riddled with bugs, or packed with aggressive microtransactions that ask for even more money just to look cool. It is exhausting, and frankly, it is disrespectful to you as a player. When you drop that kind of cash, you shouldn't have to gamble on quality. You want a guarantee. You want to know that the developers respected your time and your intelligence. You want deep mechanics, polished worlds, and hundreds of hours of genuine fun. Most importantly, you want to finish the game and feel like you actually underpaid for the experience. We have combed through the market. We have ignored the marketing hype and the paid reviews. And we have found the titles that genuinely deliver on their promises. These are the games that go above and beyond. These are the top 10 games that are 100% worth your money. Number 10, Black Myth Wukong. This game had the entire industry holding its breath. For years, people thought the trailers were too good to be true, assuming it was just a tech demo that would never actually release. But it did, and it turned out to be one of the most generous, content-rich action games we have seen in a decade. For the price of a standard game, you are not getting a short, linear hallway shooter. You are getting a massive, sprawling journey through Chinese mythology that refuses to reuse assets or cut corners. The sheer volume of unique enemies here is staggering. In most games, you fight the same 3 goblins for 20 hours. In Wukong, almost every new area introduces a completely new set of monsters with their own move sets and behaviors. The combat is where the real value lies. It isn't just about mashing buttons. You have to master the 3 different staff stances, manage your mana for spells, and learn the rhythm of every single boss fight. And speaking of bosses, there are dozens of them. Each one feels like a grand finale, with cinematic visuals that push modern hardware to the absolute limit. The developers at Game Science clearly poured every single dollar of the budget onto the screen. If you want a combat experience that rewards skill, looks next-gen, and keeps surprising you after 30 hours, this is exactly where your money belongs. Number 9, Ninja Gaiden 4. This is the comeback we were all waiting for. After years of silence, Team Ninja returned to the franchise that defined the hack and slash genre, and they reminded everyone how high-speed combat is supposed to look. Buying this at full price feels justified because the combat engine is simply perfect. It is fast, it is brutal, and it refuses to hold your hand. Unlike so many modern games that play themselves with auto-aim and easy modes, Ninja Gaiden 4 demands your full attention. You play as Ryu Hayabusa and the new protagonist, Yakumo, and the difference in their playstyles essentially gives you 2 games in one. The value here comes from the mastery. This isn't a game you play once and forget. It is a game you study. You learn the enemy placements. You figure out the perfect frames to dodge. You master the ultimate techniques to clear a room in seconds. The steel and bone feel of the combat is unmatched, giving every hit a visceral, heavy impact that makes you feel powerful. If you're tired of games that feel floaty and weightless, this will wake you up. It is polished, aggressive, and absolutely worth the cost of entry for anyone who loves a challenge. Number 8, Resident Evil 7. Sometimes value isn't about how many hours a game lasts, it is about the intensity of those hours. Resident Evil 7 makes this list because it delivers a focused, terrifying experience without a single ounce of filler. There are no fetch quests, there is no grinding for XP, there is just pure, unfiltered survival horror. Capcom took a massive risk switching the series to first person, and it paid off by saving the franchise from irrelevance. The Baker House is one of the most atmospheric settings in gaming history. From the moment you step onto the property, the sound design does the heavy lifting. The creaking floorboards, the wind howling outside, and the footsteps of Jack Baker hunting you down create a level of tension that most games can only dream of. What makes it worth the money is the pacing. The game respects you by keeping things moving. Every bullet you find feels like a gift. Every puzzle you solve makes you feel smart. And the story actually makes sense, grounding the horror in a personal tragedy rather than just exploding zombies. If you want a horror ride that respects your intelligence and sticks with you long after the credits roll, this is a mandatory purchase. Number 7, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. This is how you do a remake. Konami didn't just slap a new coat of paint on a classic and call it a day. They rebuilt the legend from the ground up, preserving exactly what made the original special while fixing everything that felt outdated. You are paying for the definitive version of one of the best stories ever told in the medium. The new visuals bring the jungle to life in a way the original PlayStation 2 hardware never could. You can see the mud on Snake's boots. You can see the fear in the enemy's eyes during interrogations. But the real value is in the systems. The survival mechanics, where you have to hunt for food and treat your specific wounds, add a layer of immersion that is still rare today. The camouflage system challenges you to actually look at your environment, blending into the grass and shadows to survive. It is a stealth sandbox that encourages creativity. You can sneak past everyone, tranquilize them, or go in loud. The choice is yours, and the game accommodates all of it perfectly. Number 6, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Nintendo proved once again that you don't need 4K photorealism to justify a price tag. Sometimes you just need pure, unfiltered joy. This game is worth the money because it is a masterclass in level design. After years of waiting, the ape is back, and the developers have packed every single stage with new ideas. The Bonanza mechanic flips the levels on their head, changing the music, the lighting, and the platforming challenges in real time. One minute you are swinging on vines, and the next you are riding a rhino through a collapsing temple. It keeps you on your toes, it never gets repetitive, and it offers a serious challenge for those who want to collect everything. Finding every puzzle piece and every hidden letter is a game in itself, offering tons of replay value for completionists. Plus, the local co-op mode is seamless, making it one of the best games to play with a friend or partner on the couch. It is polished, it is creative, and it is the kind of quality that reminds you why Nintendo is still the king of the platformer genre. Number 5. Ghost of Yotei. Sucker Punch Productions took everything that made Ghost of Tsushima a masterpiece and refined it into something even sharper. This isn't just a sequel. It is a visual spectacle that pushes the hardware to its breaking point. You play as a new protagonist, Atsu, and her journey feels distinct and personal. The combat has evolved. It feels more lethal and precise, with new weapon types like the rifle adding a layer of strategy to the samurai duels. But the real value here is the world itself. The area around Mount Yotei is dense, wild, and incredibly beautiful. Unlike other open-world games that litter the map with boring icons and checklists, this game lets you explore naturally. You follow the wind, you follow golden birds, you stumble upon hidden hot springs, and bamboo strikes organically. It is a game that encourages you to slow down and take it all in. The sheer artistic direction makes every frame look like a painting. If you want a single-player experience that offers a compelling story, a gorgeous world, and satisfying combat without any online nonsense, this is a perfect investment. Number 4. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. Kojima Productions went all out for this one. The first game was divisive, but the sequel doubles down on the strangeness and the scale, creating something truly unique. This is more than a game, it is a cinematic event. The graphics are arguably the best in the industry, blurring the line between live-action film and gameplay. But beyond the visuals, the gameplay loop has been significantly expanded. The new drawbridge ship acts as a mobile base, allowing you to travel across diverse terrains that change in real time. Floods, earthquakes, and forest fires alter the map, forcing you to adapt your delivery routes on the fly. It turns traversal into a puzzle. You have to plan your gear, manage your weight, and work together with other players asynchronously to build roads and ziplines. The feeling of connection you get when you use a ladder left by another player is something no other game offers. It is weird, it is long, and there is absolutely nothing else like it on the market. If you want an experience that you will be thinking about for years, this is worth every penny. Number 3. Hades 2. This is the king of replayability. Supergiant Games somehow managed to improve on perfection with this sequel. Usually indie games are smaller in scope, but Hades 2 has more content than most AAA titles. You play as Melanie, the princess of the underworld, and she plays very differently from Zagreus. She is a witch, using magic and ranged attacks that make the combat feel faster and more tactical. The roguelike loop means you are supposed to die and restart, but the genius of this game is that the story advances every time you fail. Characters react to your death. New plot points are revealed back at the hub. You are constantly unlocking new weapons, new tarot cards, and new incantations to make yourself stronger. It is addictive in the best way possible. You can play this for 20 minutes before work or binge it for 6 hours on a Saturday, and you will always feel like you made progress. In terms of pure dollar per hour value, almost nothing beats this game. Number 2. Baldur's Gate 3. There is one game that terrified the entire industry with its quality. Baldur's Gate 3 is worth every penny simply because it refuses to tell you no. Larian Studios built a game where every choice you make actually changes the world. And I don't mean small changes. I mean entire cities can be destroyed or saved based on a single conversation. Freedom here is unparalleled. You can talk your way out of boss fights. You can kill key characters and the story will adapt. You can speak with animals and dead bodies to get information. The sheer number of systems interacting with each other creates moments of emergent gameplay that feel like magic. You can play this game for 100 hours, roll credits, and then start over with a different character class and see a completely different version of the story. Whether you want to be a noble hero or a chaotic villain, the game respects your agency. It sets a standard for role-playing games that most other studios can't even touch. Number 1. Red Dead Redemption 2. And finally, the game that set a bar for detail that may never be reached again. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an investment. You aren't just playing a cowboy shooter. You are living in a simulation of the dying West. Rockstar Games spent nearly a decade building this world, and you can feel that effort in every pixel. The value comes from the immersion. The way the mud dries on your clothes over time. The way your horse gets dirty and needs brushing. The way NPCs remember your actions from days ago. It all adds up to an experience that feels heavier and more significant than a video game. The story of Arthur Morgan is a slow-burn tragedy that features some of the best writing and acting in the medium. It treats its characters with respect, giving them depth and flaws that make them feel human. And once you finish the massive story, the open world is still there, teeming with hunting, fishing, and secrets to uncover. It remains the gold standard for what a full-price game should offer, giving you a world you can live in for months. Gaming is an expensive hobby, but these titles prove that there are still developers out there who respect your wallet. They offer quality over quantity and depth over monetization. Which of these do you think offers the best value? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more honest picks. Catch you in the next one.